2. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing great. The thing is, quickly, I start covering what we talked in the previous session. As you start seeing that I posted all the content one at a time, every session, we are going to have all those things. I quickly go through it. We talked about the course outline and then the resources, actually the book in 2 versions, plain and highlighted version. The other thing is, we started talking about the basics. We went through the slides. We said, in general, about the AI. That's pretty much what we are going to have in our session, in our course. Specifically, we are going to talk about machine learning and the tools that we need. We went through the highlights of the things that we will cover, like IPython and Jupyter, NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and scikit-learn. So we talked about the course outline and the way that we are going to have for the assignments, final project, lecture quizzes, lab exercises, midterm final, and on top of them all, bonus marks. We watched a few videos. We said what the course is not about, like we are not covering general purpose AI or early AI. We need to deal with big data concepts, but this is not a course that we deal with velocity, volume, veracity, visualization, value, and so on and so forth. And it is not about SaaS, PaaS, or infrastructure as a service. We may use, actually, we use Colab as the distributed machine learning environment, actually notebook, and we use cloud services, but we are not directly talk about cloud. We just use the platform as a services in this way. We talked about where the topic that we're covering stands. It is somehow between applications and super high-level languages. We said that Python is a interpreter language. It's not a compile-based language. We watched the history of AI. We talked about Alan Turing and the Turing test. And we had a quick funny video about Chloe. And we said where we are standing today. The word has come, actually, the artificial intelligence started in early 1950s, but the word was coined in 1956. And we said that as many other inventions, it had the peak and what we call it winter. And we already had 3 winters in AI. And we started talking about what machine learning is all about. And we saw the data engineering life cycle, for instance, having an interview, finding the approach that suits the best, the algorithms that we need to use, data proning, and then applying it, trying to visualize it, and deployment, all those phases. We saw it in a video. And there was a video that we were supposed to watch and answer a few questions. I intentionally kept the assignment open to have the maximum number of participants, and I closed it on, I think, yesterday. But still, good number of one of the classes missed the submission. I don't know what was the problem, but tell me what needed to be done to make it, to have more participants in the next one. So the difference between machine learning and deep learning, the number of layers, shallow learning versus deep learning, we talked it quickly. And we said, okay, the relationship between these guys, and that is one of the questions that we had today as the bonus. Artificial intelligence is the biggest circle. Machine learning is a subsidiary of it. Deep learning is a subsidiary of machine learning. But data science crosses these guys, but not restricted in any of them per se, right? And we talked about whatchamacallit, Lucas, categories defined by human machine learning versus machine learning deep. Lovely. I like that, Lucas. And we saw the art of visualization. And by saying that, we finished this. Everybody, those who have already installed PyCharm, please type P. Do you have PyCharm on your computer? Lovely. Many of them. Please, if you haven't done that, please try to install PyCharm and Anaconda, both of them, tonight. So tomorrow, all the computers would be almost similar. The first chapter, we are going to cover many things that they need Anaconda, and I'm going to show you where and how and why I'm saying that. But before I get to anywhere else, let me just ask you, if I bring this guy here, yes, there we go. Guys, you have that file, right? Everyone, please go to, let me just see. Oh, I opened already Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Everybody type Colab research.google.com and please press enter. Whenever you are done, please type too. Merci, Zoe. Ronnie. Alvaro. Songfen. EY. Ivan. Peter. Shada. Mohammed. William. Lovely. Julian. Mahyar. Vincent. Olgar. William. Okay. Just could you please repeat what we have to do? Very simple. Go to this environment. Divine, what do you mean by what's going on? Could you please repeat what? Okay, Enes, did you click on it? Do you see something like this? Okay, so everybody, please click on upload the way that you see. No worries. Okay, the file that I've already sent to you, please just drag and drop it over there. And you should see similar thing the way that I see it here, right? I know that's going to be a while that we haven't touched Python. Maybe it worked during the summer. But let's change the first to say hello word from, for instance, Divine or Enes. Let me just say Enes, right? Something like that. And then, guys, hold shift, press enter. Or you can simply click on that gizmo on the left side, the run button, and you have to see something like this. Huh? Whenever you are done with that, type 3, please. Lovely. Well, people have difficulty. Uh-oh. Okay. Jeffrey, if you are there, please type 1. Jeffrey, are you in the class? Okay, thank you very much. The next thing is right now, x is equal to 3. If you say x multiply 7, it's going to show you, well, the result. Look at here. If you hover the mouse somewhere in the middle of the screen, you're going to have two options. One is code that I already clicked, and the other one is text. We are going to check it in a few seconds. In the code part, if I say, for instance, now x plus 5, for example, and then press, it's going to show me that thing. And I can just say print, for instance, open x multiply x, which is going to be 25 because x initial, oh, sorry, 9 because x is initially 3, right? So, okay. So if you see that, here is the answer. Okay. Jeffrey, if you hear my voice in the class, please type 1. Merci. Did I answer your question that you asked in your private chat? I explained it a few minutes ago. Okay. If anything happens, guys, it is possible that because of the connection, once in a while, that the voice is cut off. Don't worry. I checked. Thanks to the online classes that we had before, I'm aware of these kind of problems, and because I'm going to save, upload, and share the link with you, there's no chance that you miss the content. So you can watch those parts that the voice was cut or something. One question for you guys: what is this y? Is this array? Is this array list or what? Lovely. Yes, excellent. Why you are that much confident to say that it is list? Because the types are not the same, right? And we didn't define anything like, hey, this is Python array, or we didn't import anything like NumPy, which is the essential thing if you want to deal with arrays. Long story short, this is a list. And if you run the code the way that Shift Enter or click on this run button, it's going to show you that. And everybody, please run this import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And then this is something that's going to provide the output for us, and then say PLT, which is the object that we have based on that. Say plot range 15. When you say range 15, it's going to start from 0 all the way to 14, not 15. 15 is excluded. Left side included, right side excluded. So what if I say 5, 15? Look at the results instead of this that we have. So you see that here, as it says, it starts from 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 14, and not 15. Guys, my apologies. Everything is clear for you so far? Lovely. Excellent. Thank you. Bravo, Eric. Thanks for the energy. Look at this one. Here on the left side, you see there is a kind of file folder sign. If you click on it, you see we can have some files here that we want to use. Guys, please get this file that I sent already to you, download it on into your computer, and then please drag and drop this file. I do it from the scratch. Imagine that there is no space here. I click on this sign of files, and then I'm going to drag and drop the file that I've already sent to you. The name is 03-hello.py. There's a warning that says, hey, after a while, if you just close the environment, we can't guarantee you can access next time to this file. Don't worry, say okay. And if you double click on it, you can see the content of the file here, which says we have # say hello, which is a kind of comments inside the Python environment. And then we define a function named greet. And then we have a parameter here, name, and we have triple of these things, double quotes, and then we close it with this. Anybody knows what that, what those comments are about? I have no clue. Then I have no clue, and I don't know the name. Amirjan, the code is at your computer. You have the code. Please just open it at your end. Simply right click and say open in Notepad. You can have, here is another file for you. Please open it at your end. You can just right click and open it with Notepad. Okay, so please tell me, do you know what this guy is? Guys, if anyone wants to have the code in a plain vanilla version, the last one, lovely Matthew. Function comments. Well, Harlan, it's comment in general, but the best is Matthew, which said multi-line comments. Exactly. And what is the use of it? Because look at this one. If I run that hello, so it is going to run this definition, and then it gets to the part that we said name is equal to comp3122 students, and then we said greet, and then we pass the string to name, right? Let me ask you one thing. What if I say, for instance, greet in parentheses, and I say, I don't know, Amir, for example. Is it going to work or not? Yes or no? Or let me just do it this way. Say name is equal to Amir. Oh, I'm sorry. Reza, come on. And then here I say, what should we call it? Greet name. That's the, let me just type greet name. Is it going to work? Mark said no. Okay, those who say that it works, please type 1. Those who say it doesn't, please type 0. Yeah, lovely. If you run, you see that it works. And the reason for that is when you run it once, it is in the RAM memory, right? And now you have access that specific function. Cool? Just contemplate for a second on it. See if it is clear. Maybe somebody says, Reza, it's a little bit complicated. You just dragged and dropped this guy here. You just said run that external file because it is py Python file. It goes through it. Let me just see. It first saw that here is a command, and then we defined a function over there. So now it knows what the greet function is. Then we pass that name into it, and then we use that function. We called it. And this guy now knows the function. So if outside that, again, I say name, now it's equal to Amir, and then greet name, then it's going to, yeah. Don't worry. That's pretty much for just reviewing. So guys, everything is fine. If we got it 100%, give me the third high five. Type 5. Okay, lovely. I hope the speed is not that much high. So now we are ready to go to the next part of our journey, which is going to quickly the book that I have already shared with you. if you don't mind, I just opened the highlighted version to quickly just tell you the most important parts. If you see, it says that let's have IPython. Guys, imagine that this is the first time that I deal with Python. So Reza said, if I install Anaconda, then everything is fine. And this guy said, interactive Python is a good thing. So let's just use interactive Python instead of using browser-based notebook. And I don't know the difference between these guys. Who cares? Let's just, go to command prompt cmd, sorry. And as the person said, if I say IPython and press enter, it's going to work, right? Right? Everybody, works for you? Not sure. I like that answer. Guys, if it works for you, Zoe said it doesn't work for her. Inas, not sure. Prakash, 1. Guys, let me just show you. It doesn't work for me. Look, it says that path counter file, and the reason for that is I didn't, in the other computer that you see, it's there, it works there. And the reason for that is I put that computer in path. The environmental variable is already defined. For this one, it didn't define. I wanted just to make sure that if anyone sees such a thing, don't worry. It is possible that in some computers it works, in some computers it doesn't. But let me just tell you one thing. Here, if I go to all apps, I have installed Anaconda. So when you install Anaconda, there is one Anaconda prompt and Anaconda PowerShell. We use Anaconda prompt. So click on this guy. And then you see it is pretty close to the environment that we saw a second ago, but here it says base. And if I say IPython here and I press enter, ta-da, it gets into the Python. Just think about it. I'm going to explain later again why it works in Anaconda, because it accesses the place that you have installed IPython. In the other one, I didn't define the environmental variable that shows this guy is in the path, so it cannot find it. You have to go to the installation. Ruslan, bring your laptop tomorrow between 2 classes that I have. You can just work on it. Okay, so don't worry. The other thing is, let's get to this environment. If I want to get outside it, I say exit. I said exit. And here, imagine that if I go to Anaconda, the way that I showed you a few seconds ago, instead of typing Anaconda prompt, if I say Anaconda navigator or Anaconda notebook, let's just go with this one. The problem of this one is you do not have that much control where to go. And because of streaming, it takes a little bit more time compared to normal. You have no control to say, okay, save my output file here or there, or where to start the project. I do not very much recommend that. Finally, it should open a browser, and then I have to say, I wish I didn't click it. Okay, finally. So you see that here we have Jupyter Notebook, and if I say launch, it is going to open a simple environment. Yep. That you don't have any control. You see, it is already inside the document folder for me. This is not what I actually like to have. I want to have control where to open my environment. No, don't show that again. Close, please. Quit. Yes. Okay. So how can we resolve that issue? Very simple. Look, I am inside Anaconda prompt. I go to cd c /. I go to the root. I made one folder named test, cd test. So I'm there. And if I say now, Jupyter notebook and press enter, look, I am inside that specific location. You see that? I'm inside that test that I created a second ago. Okay. Those who cannot make it work, bring your laptop tomorrow, please. And we are going to figure it out. Here we have new. We can say Python number 3. And exactly the way that we did some practices there, let's say A equal to 10, B equal to 20. And let's say print A plus B. As simple as that. Oh, print, Reza, print. Okay, everybody, if you could get there and you see the same thing, and you can just simply change it to sample, for example, sample Anaconda. Okay. If everybody could do that, please just type 1 after finishing. And just one thing, the nature of these classes, okay, Harlan, that's a very valid question. I personally, I do not advocate any of them. I do not say which one is better for you, or there are pros and cons on any of them. Just today, we want to quickly review all of them, and you are going to choose whichever works for you the best, right? Did I answer your question quickly or not? There is no preference specifically. We have Visual Studio Code. Yes, that's a lightweighted language. If you want to choose, if you want to switch between 2 different languages, Visual Studio Code is the best. If you want to stick to Python, PyCharm is the best with higher performance. If you want to share the project among a group, you can use that in Google Colab. If you want to work with projects that deals with huge amount of data, above 10 gigabytes of data, you cannot use easily something like Google Colab. You have to set up your own server. The best is Anaconda for that. So each of them is the best for a specific usage. But at the moment, we want just to make sure that we are all comfortable with these environments. And you see, we can work the same thing in different environments. We get the same result, right? No worries. Actually, to respect the question that Harlan asked, and maybe that's the question of many of us, I have provided one. You see here, we have week number 1, but in NumPy, I mentioned one file here, which I have to bring it to the other folder. Look at this one. They created Python for the first time in 1991, but they get to an idea of having a kind of revolutionary, different environment called Notebook in 2001. I'm gonna show you. So you know the advantages of Python. There are 3 major environments. One of them is text editors like Atom. The other one is IDEs, like already you know, Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, and so on. And the third one is something between these 2, which is called notebook environments. You have the flexibility of debugging every single cell. So it's not going to pause the whole entire code because of just one simple mistake. And there are some samples and examples in each of them that I have mentioned in this file for you, right? So in this file, you can just go there and go step by step how to install the Anaconda and be ready for tomorrow. I mentioned everything, even more than what I already told you quickly. So you can just go to that file. I'm going to share it after finishing the class. So everybody is fine with everything that we have covered so far? Almost? Merci. Lovely. So let me just tell you one thing. As you see, IPython is a short form of interactive Python. For some of you is available even in the command prompt, but for some people like me, because I have closed, let me just close this environment. Close this one. For some of us which use Anaconda not in the path, we have to go to the folder of Anaconda and then click on the command prompt or Anaconda prompt. And then there we say IPython. So we get to the interactive Python there. Imagine that I want to know a little bit about some methods that I actually have, like len. One of the things that I can do is to type help and then, for instance, say len. And in that case, it's going to tell me what the len function is. It says that you pass an object and it tells you how many items it contains. Does that make sense? So everybody, those who have already IPython, please try this one. If you are done with that, please type 1. Guys, I'm a little bit behind the schedule, like 3 to 5 minutes. Hope I don't rush you. Len, question mark is another way for doing that. So take your time. First type help len, then please try len question mark. You see that the results, if you go, yes, the format is slightly different, but look at it. It says len object, and you have slash here, the same thing, return the number of items in a container, right? Okay, so technically, whenever you want to know something about my apologies, about one method, or that could be a method that you have already written, you simply can type help and that method inside parentheses. The other way is write the name of a method and then question mark, and then that's how it's going to work, right? Okay. Let's do one thing. Everybody, please type L equal to, for instance, 1, 2, 3, as simple as that. And then press enter. The beautiful thing is, if you say L dot, for instance, insert, and now you can, insert, you can say, okay, tell me about the insert in the list. And then it's going to tell you, hey, insert, you have to mention the index that you want to insert, means you want to place that object in position 0, 1, 2, or what. And then the object that you want to insert, right? Even you can just say L question mark, and it's going to tell you, hey, L is nothing but a list, and it contains these elements, and the length of that is 3. You may say, Reza, why we need that when we have Stack Overflow, ChatGPT, and all those resources? So imagine that you want something agile, and you don't want always to rely on internet. What if there is no internet? You want something available. The documents is very much rich for Python. Okay. If you could follow everything that I said so far, please type 2. So I don't appear to have the autocomplete like, okay, Lucas, don't worry. The reason for that is before coming to the class, I went through all the commands to make sure, double check, triple check that everything is fine. That's why you see my cache. Just ignore that, but that was a good question. Good. No worries. Yeah, that's me always. I want to make everything. Yeah. So let's define, guys, one function together. Let's define def. You see, it's a square. So let me just change sq. Hopefully, no one has got that before. So sq and say a. Don't forget, that's my problem. I always forget to put that colon at the end and press enter. And then let's just say returns the square of a, comma, written by Reza. And those gizmos. Oh, one more. I have forgotten to. Yes, this one. And yeah, you see that. And if I press this and I say return a times a, for example, or the other way, returns a to the power of 2. Right? And then if I press enter and again press enter, and then you are done. Good? So now if you say sq, and if I say 4, for example, it's going to show you 16. Does that make sense? I'm going to pause here, make sure that everybody could just follow this. If you can do that, this time please type 3. Lovely. Merci. So now if I say, that's the beautiful part. If I say sq question mark, look, it talks about the function, right? But it shows the docstring, guys. This comment that I have written here is what we call it. What? Please type. I've forgotten what I said. What do we call it? How do you exit the? Oh, press another. That's a good question. I pressed enter and again press enter, double enter, and it's going to exit. Yes. Okay, guys, what do we call this string? We call this string docstring. This string is docstring. You're gonna see it somewhere pretty soon. I'm not gonna say in your quiz, but well, pretty soon. Okay, so look at this one. If I say sq, sorry, if I say help sq, and then now look at this one. It shows pretty similar to the previous one, but what if I say sq question mark? Guys, what do you think it's going to show you? Okay. No, it's going to show you not only the docstring, but also the implementation of the code. Lucas and everybody, the questions that needs me to see your monitors based on the number of people that we have, 105. It's not possible that I say, okay, let's everybody pause and then just share one monitor. tomorrow on your computer, by all means, I'm going to go through everything. Okay. But for now, this is like a lecture more style than lab. Okay. Sorry about it. Yeah. Okay, guys, did you see that that code? So that's a beautiful thing. If you implement the code yourself and you say, hey, question mark, not only it shows you the doc string, it shows you what? Even the code that you have written for that. You got it? If you got it, please type 1. This is important, guys, in your quiz. Excellent. Lovely. So I'm sure that those who are in the class, they're going to answer something pretty soon. Let me just ask you one thing. Do you remember that we said len ? And it shows that? So if I say len and double question mark, what do you expect to see? Tell me. Reza, it is easy. It's going to show you the code, right? And surprisingly enough, I press and it shows the same thing. Uh-oh. Okay. Due to the interest of time, I need to explain this right now to you. If you use len (1 question mark) or any function (1 question mark) and the result with that function 2 question mark are the same, it shows that this function is not written by Python. It has written by C, C++, or something different. That is why it just shows you the exact help that it shows with 1 question mark. Is it clear? Lovely. Let me just, guys, something came to my mind. What if we just mix these two? If I say help SQ and question mark, is it going to show anything? Yes, no, maybe? Before I press enter? It's free. Just guess. Zoe, come on. Okay, if I press enter, it says that invalid. So combining these two doesn't work. Another question. So everything is fine. We got it. Listen, there is one thing. Here we don't have that fancy intelligence that we have in IDEs, but it's not that bad. If you type L and dot and then press tab, you see we have lots of things. So we can simply, for instance, say C, and then if we press tab, we have clear, copy, and count, right? And if I say CO and then press tab, it says, which one do you want, count or copy? And if I say U, for example, and I say count the number of ones that I have in the list, for example, 1, and it's going to tell us we have 1, 1. Okay, let me just change it. L is equal to 1, 1, 1. Oopsie. 1, 2, 3, for example. Something like that. And now if I say, okay, how many ones do we have here? It says that we have 3 ones. Does that make sense? Everybody? If yes, if everything is clear, please type 2. Okay, 2 more things to tell. Bravo. There are some functions, if I type L dot, that we call it, those functions are special internal functions, and I have provided a complete text for you. Let me just show you. Where is it? There we go. Here it says that the public external attributes and private internal attributes. So some of the functions like init, like the things that you see here, they are very crowded. It makes the environment very crowded if we just have all those functions. So we bring those to private or internal. So now if I use something like that, it's going to show me the private functions. By saying that, I quickly go through this to make sure that we have covered everything for the quiz. As you see, IPython, a short interactive Python is something that we have started working on. We talked about different environments that we can work with Python, the interactive text-based IPython, the browser-based Colab or Anaconda, or you can use PyCharm or anything. You see that I have installed PyCharm a while ago. And the thing is, in this book, we are going to work on the things that mostly you can implement and use both Notebook and interactive Python. But I strongly recommend that please install it. Then you can see fully functional output compared to what we have in the book. So it says that the muscle memory you build through doing this will be far more useful than the simple act of reading this book. Definitely have two monitors and watch in one and implement the other in the other. Launching Jupyter, that is something that we did using Jupyter Notebook or directly IPython. This is something very important. It says that when a technology-minded person is asked to help a friend, family member, or colleague with a computer problem, most of the time, it's less a matter of knowing the answer as much as knowing how to quickly find an unknown answer. And that is pretty much what we have to learn in both this and next semester's content. Being an effective practitioner of data science is less about memorizing the tools or commands you should use for every possible situation, and more about learning to effectively find the information you don't know, whether through a web search engine or another means. Well, this is IPython using single or double question marks. We already know every Python object contains docstring. Guys, what is this? What is string? Docstrings. And you already work with these guys when you use one question mark or when you say help len. This is exactly what we used a few seconds ago. We created a list. These are the items. L insert question mark. And then we type even L question mark. And you saw the answers over there. Defining a function as you see here. And if simply you say SQ, for instance, or square question mark is going to show you the answer. This is super important. If you do not see any difference between len 1 question and 2 questions, it shows that these guys are not implemented in Python, but in C or other compiled languages. And we already used tab by saying L.tab or L.c and pressing tab, and the private methods or special methods using underscore or underscore. And by saying that, we have already covered everything from page 1 to page 6. Sorry to keep you 11 minutes technically more than the actual time. I wanted to make sure that everybody could find the link and come to the class. The class is already recorded. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube and share the link with you guys. I hope that you could find this format of the class for big lecture crowded environments more efficient. That's based on my experience. It's a better way of implementing. Tomorrow, if you have any concern, any question in the lab, we are going to continue our journey, and I'm going to cover that. Okay, thank you very much. I do appreciate you have all the things that you need to start your quiz number 1, but you have time. If you want to wait after tomorrow's content, then you can open it and answer it. Have a wonderful one. Take care of yourself and see you tomorrow. Ciao. Thank you. Merci.